As you've gotten older, have you ever considered or thought about downsizing, decluttering, moving, retiring, all those things? Well, I've done all those things, and I want to share with you what they have done for my life. Stay tuned and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. Well, as I just stated, in today's video, I want to talk about downsizing, moving, retiring, decluttering, all that kind of stuff, and how it put life into perspective for me. How it gave me so much more freedom in my life. I have a lot more fun in my life, and I use my time wisely and enjoy my life. I have a lot more days behind me than I do ahead of me. And the days I have ahead of me, I want to make the best of those days. And these things have allowed me to do that. So let's talk about each one. Well, downsizing. Now, we moved from Virginia to South Carolina 10 years ago, and we downsized. The house we were in Virginia was double the size of the house we're in now. And it was fine, but we didn't need it anymore. You reach a point in life where the kids are gone and it's just you or the two of you rattling around in a home that was meant for a family. It would accommodate a family. Now, of course, kids come back to visit, grandchildren are born, they come over, etc. But as far as your day-to-day life, it was just too much. You spent your days cleaning all day long and doing laundry and working in the yard and cutting the grass and just all the things that it takes to maintain a bigger house. And I'm not saying it was a huge house, but it was bigger than what we have now. And it did consume a lot of our time. So when we moved to South Carolina, we got a smaller house. It wasn't necessarily intentional, but the house came up. It was a foreclosure. It was just the perfect size for us, and we jumped on it. Now, when we get company, yes, it can get crowded. Everybody's not going to have their own bedroom. You may be on a couch. You may be on a blow-up mattress. But that's okay. It doesn't change anything. When family come, we still get to be together and have fun. And so it all works out. Plus, if a lot of my family came at one time, it's much cheaper for us to pay to put them in a hotel for a week than to pay property taxes and furnish and clean and take care of a bigger home when you only need it once or twice a year. It's so much easier for me to clean and take care of. I do not feel like I am a slave to my house. Like I can't go out and do anything because, oh, I've got to clean that house. No, it can wait. There's not that much to clean. And with just two people living in it, you keep it pretty straight, pretty clean. You just have to tidy up here and there. And so that makes life so much more enjoyable and you can have more fun. Downsizing also gave us the opportunity to get rid of things that we just hung on to for no reason. We had no use for them, the things, the stuff, but because we had a house that would accommodate them, we kept them. Just like things in the attic. We had an attic full of stuff that had been in the attic for years and years and years. We didn't even know what was up there. So it gave us the opportunity to have to get it all down, to sell the house, go through it, and get rid of it unless it was something we chose to keep. So that was another wonderful thing that happened with downsizing. Dave and all his many tools, and believe me, he had them all. His garage was full of tools and all kind of stuff, extra pieces of wood, every size nail and screw and everything you could ever want. Well, we got rid of it. We didn't bring all that with us. He didn't feel he needed it anymore. Yes, he kept his basic tools and things like that, but all the extras gone. Gave them away, gave them to our kids, things like that. So it really lifts a burden off your shoulders when you downsize. The second point I'll talk about is moving. Now, you don't have to move. We chose to move. You know, you may live in the home that you've lived in for 40 or 50 years, the home that you've raised your family in, that you've called home for most of your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, it just didn't suit me anymore. Our home was our family home, and where we raised our children and they were there all the time and all that, but they're gone. They've moved on. They have their own lives, their own families. And so we felt it was time to get something that suited us, just the two of us. You know, we didn't have to have things that would suit a family of 5 anymore. It was just 2 of us. So it worked out really well, and we got a home that we really enjoy and love, and it's perfect for us. It's something new, something different. And, you know, I didn't want to go from a home that I had lived in for years and years, and what you would call your family home and everything, from that home into a nursing home. I didn't want my life to end up that way. I wanted that little step in between, that I had something that worked for me. Well, for me and Dave, but I mean, it worked for us and our lifestyle and the way we wanted to live. So I feel this is the best time of our lives because we have what we wanted. And it just worked out so well for us. So that's something to think about as well. Like I said, you don't have to move, but it is fun to have like a fresh start and pick something out that just suits the two of you or yourself if you're single. You don't have to pick something that, you know, takes care of everybody in the household. Now, fortunately for us, we moved from Virginia to Hilton Head, South Carolina, which is a warm climate. And that made life even so much better. Oh my goodness, the fun we have here. We're right here at the beach. It's warm a good 9 or 10 months out of the year. We have so many activities here in the community. You can be outside every day, walking, playing bocce ball, going to the activity centers, just outdoor life, riding your bicycle, whatever you want to do. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that it's going to work for everyone to move from wherever they live and move to a town where you can have a better lifestyle because you can be outside and active. I know that's not possible for everybody. But if you're ever considering retiring and moving and maybe wanting to go to a warmer climate, I'll tell you it's absolutely amazing and you would not regret it. Just your quality of life improves tremendously. I can't imagine now at my age being stuck in the house in the winter when there's snow and ice and sleet and it's so cold and I can't do anything but stay in the house. Or every time I go out, I have to put on boots and gloves and hats and scarves and oh my gosh, I'd never go out. I really wouldn't. However, I know there are some people that absolutely love the snow and the cold weather. So if that works for you, then just stay right where you're at. As far as retirement goes, oh boy, I wished I had done that sooner also. Now, I was very fortunate because I owned my own business and I worked from home. So I didn't fully retire. I was semi-retired. We cut back on the clients we had and just kept a few enough to maintain our lifestyle, but not to where we had to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And that has been very freeing. You would be so surprised. You think in retirement you would be bored because you had nothing to do. Oh my goodness, there is plenty to do. I'm sure you've heard the saying before, where does the day go? I'm retired now and I can't seem to get half the things done that I did before. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to go to the store on a specific day or do something on a specific evening because you have to get up and get out the door and get to work the next day. You can do it whenever it suits you, whenever it works for you. So you just enjoy life. You can have a mix of both. You can get a part-time job, start a hobby, do something, start a little small business if you want, and yet still enjoy your life and have time for you. I don't understand why people put that off. They say, well, I'm going to retire, but I'm going to wait till I'm 70 or 72 or whatever the age is. Oh my gosh, if you're 65 or 68, that's 3 more years, 3 to 5 more years that you're going to wait. How do you know how you're going to feel in 3 to 5 years? If you'll still have your health, if you'll be able to drive, if your vision is good enough that you can drive or travel and do the things you want to do. I know finances play a big role in it. Many people can't retire or they believe they can't. Well, in my humble opinion, yes, you can. You may have to make some big changes, change your lifestyle. You can't live large anymore. You're going to have a smaller home. But let me tell you, a simple life is a joyful life. And I absolutely love it. I would rather just live on bare minimum and be able to be outside, breathing fresh air, enjoying myself, having fun that doesn't cost me a dime. I'd much rather do that now while I know I can than to take the chance just to accumulate more money before I retire when, in all reality, that money that you accumulate, you may not be able to enjoy, number one, and number two, it could all go into your health care cost if you end up with a terrible diagnosis or a disease that's going to put a great financial burden on you. So that's just something to think about. So that's pretty much the gist of how moving, retiring, decluttering, downsizing all affected my life, changed my life for the better, gave me a whole new outlook on life and a new perspective, and I just love every bit of it. I only wish I would have done it sooner. So I'm going to wrap this up with 3 points I want to make. Number one, because I downsized and I decluttered, and I'm not talking about being a minimalist and getting rid of everything you own. No, not that. I mean pieces that are useless, maybe pieces of furniture that you don't need, that don't serve a purpose. The furniture that I have in my home now has a purpose. It might be a table or an end table or something to hold a lamp and a few knickknacks or something like that. But I don't have like the buffets or the, what are they called? I think sideboards and, things like that. They're just pretty pieces of furniture, but they're not that useful. I guess they are if you collect things. You can store your china and silver and crystal and all that stuff in there. I don't have any of that stuff anymore. I lead a simple life, and I don't want all that other stuff. Been there, done that. I'll just take the easy road from here on in. The second point I want to make, and I may have, I think I mentioned this in a recent video, maybe the last video. But anyhow, do not burden your family with your stuff. Oh my gosh. Sometimes we tend to hang on to things. As I said in the previous video, we're going to save it because maybe it's of value or it means so much to us, we're just sure our kids are going to want it. They don't want it. They don't want to be stuck with your stuff. They really don't. And if you had a sit-down conversation with them or asked them, they wouldn't want to hurt your feelings. But if you asked for the truth, they would tell you. I would rather see my kids enjoy or take what I have now, if they wanted it, rather than me kick the bucket and then they got to clean it all out and get rid of it. It's a burden for them. Now, I know none of us want to burden our children, but I'll give you a couple examples. My sister had really nice things. I mean, she had the crystal and beautiful glasses and dinnerware and things like that, candles, candle holders, gold silverware, stainless steel silverware, just beautiful, beautiful things. And she kept them in the cupboard. She never got them out because we don't eat on that kind of stuff every day, do we? I mean, I don't think too many people are eating on china and drinking out of crystal glasses just for their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when she passed away, my brother-in-law told me to take anything I wanted. I didn't want any of it. Yes, it was beautiful. She had so many antiques and unique pieces of furniture, good furniture. I mean, furniture I could never buy. But I didn't want any of it. I don't have anywhere to put it. And so, unfortunately, most of it was auctioned off, and then the rest went to Habitat for Humanity. My mother had a lot of things that she had collected over the years. She used to collect baby dolls, and oh my gosh, she had so many of them. She loved chickens and roosters and cows, and she would collect all that kind of stuff. She had a couple lamps that belonged to my grandmother that had belonged to her mother, so that'd be my great-grandmother. And things like that, I didn't want any of them. You know what I wanted from my mother? Something that I did take and want. This. I'll hold it up close. That is Estee Lauder. That was her signature scent, the Estee Lauder Youth Dew. And this was the powder. It's completely empty. It's old. It's not like it's a beautiful piece that someone would want to have. But I'll tell you what, when I take this lid off, even though this is empty, oh my gosh, I smell it. I can smell my mother just like she's right here in the room with me. And this brings me so much comfort. I feel like she's with me because her scent, her signature scent is right here. This is what meant something to me. Not all her treasures and things that she had saved for years, and her jewelry and shoes and handbags and all that. This. And of course my dad died over 40 some years ago. You know what I have of his that means so much to me? This little old, worn, tattered little leather case. On the inside, this is his name and address, and this is the Lord's Prayer. And then there's a cross right here. He carried this in his pocket every single day of his life. This means more to me than anything in the world. And it's kind of funny because he was, very religious. And this little thing here that has his name and address, it says, in case of accident or severe illness, notify the nearest Catholic priest. Not call 911 or anything like that. Call a priest. And then tucked behind that, I don't know if you can see how old this is. The paper, the ink, and everything. This was a prayer that he carried with him every day. There are two of them, tattered, ripped, and worn. One is a prayer in time of afflictions, and the other one is just a prayer. That means everything to me. These are the things your kids are going to want from you. The things that really touch their heart, that represent you in a way that nothing else does. This was who my dad was. A really good, faithful, and strict Roman Catholic who was a true believer. And this is who my mother was. Everybody recognized her by her scent. So saving all that stuff and carting it around and thinking that it has so much value and someone's really going to appreciate it. I understand how people feel that way because they appreciate it and they love it and it meant so much to them, but that doesn't mean it will mean something to someone else. So give your kids a break and don't burden them with all your stuff. You have something special that you absolutely love, and one of your kids said they love it too, give it to them now. Let them enjoy it. Why keep it in a closet or a box or up on a shelf or in a garage just to hang on to it when you can get the enjoyment out of seeing someone use it and enjoy it right now while you're still here. And the last point I want to make is just use your time to really enjoy your life. Be real conscious of time and how you're spending it. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I absolutely love to clean. So if I spend the whole day cleaning, that's not a waste of time for me. It fulfills me. I love it. I'm productive. It makes me feel good. And I had a great day. So do the things that you enjoy. Don't waste your time sitting around watching TV all day. I mean, if that's what you want to do, you certainly have the right to do that. But there's so much out there for you. And I just hope you grab life by the tail and take this time to live it, really live it, maybe in ways you never were able to before. Well, now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip today comes from Proverbs 27:1. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what the day may bring. And that's exactly right. We have no idea what tomorrow will bring, or even if we will have it tomorrow, because it's not promised to us. Life is uncertain and it's unpredictable, and we can't live our life putting everything off. We have to live in the present moment. This is our last chance, if we're seniors, to decide what you want for your life and to go for it. Take a chance, take a risk, pray about it. Do what works for you. Not everyone has the same goals and dreams and aspirations in life. And if you are happy just where you are, living like you do, and you're very content with that, don't give it up. Keep it if that's what you want for your life. But for those of you who want that one last shot at doing something adventurous, exciting, making a change in your life that you weren't able to make for many years because you were tied up with your family, raising your children, you were tied down with a job for all those years, now's the time. Now's the time to trust in God that everything will work out. You don't have to know all the answers. You have to think positive and you have to believe that you will make it. Don't sit around and talk yourself out of it or let those negative thoughts come in like, oh, what if I can't make it financially? I don't know if I have enough money to do this. Go somewhere where it's less expensive to live. If you go from the north to the south, oh my gosh, there is a huge difference in cost of living and everything. If you downsize from a bigger home to a smaller home, you have extra cash. You can get your smaller home, and the profit you made from your bigger home is your little nest egg. You can find a part-time job. You can do whatever you want to do. Live in a trailer park if that's what you want. If it's like in a beach area or somewhere that's tropical, warm, you can have a great outdoor lifestyle. So what? Then you've got it all. Just keep in mind that life does not go on forever. So really think about what you want to do with your life and what works for you. And the bottom line is, it's your life and you deserve to be happy, whatever way that turns out to be for you. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.